Hello, everybody. It's Gary Stuckey with Steve Perry News. Well, here it is, the brand new song, Open Arms, featuring Steve Perry. Of course, Dolly Parton singing on this, and a brand new album coming out tomorrow, or today, I should say, by the time you see this, November 17th. And great song. Let me review it. But let me tell you, midnight Eastern, so it's 11 o'clock. It was just released. So I remember that about Steve. He always releases at midnight. But, of course, on the East Coast, 11 o'clock. So I went over to the page, waited, and sure enough, there it was. And I commented. And guess what? I was the first one to comment on this song. So it just makes sense that I should be there. I've been waiting. Y'all all have been waiting. And I hope y'all get a chance to listen. I'll put a link in the description. If you haven't heard the song yet, I will let you click on that link and you can find out for yourself how good it is. But let me just say, we've been waiting a long time. We've known about this for about a year. And Dolly has, she's sung with all these different artists, some great versions of different songs, okay? But you listen to this song, Dolly sings the first part. So you're like, where's Steve? So she sings the first line and chorus, and you're like, no, Steve. And then Steve comes in kind of early and says, this empty house seems so cold. He's got a deeper voice, of course, and his voice is deeper as time has gone by. But the key is an E, it sounds like. So, different tuning. And, of course, Dolly has a high voice, so she's going to have a lower key to sing in. And, of course, Steve is going to sing in a lower key. So that makes sense, And I'm sure he could have sang in a higher key. But on this song, it made a lot of sense. And guess what? The blend was perfect. And when you pay attention to things like that with harmonies and music, and you really study how they sound together, her voice, his voice, especially in that key of E, sounds magical. And of course, when he comes in like that, this empty house is so cold. And there's some ad libs in there and, different things that kind of make it special. Does it sound just like the original? No. But that's the whole point. If you want the original, you can go listen to the original. This is Steve right now singing with Dolly. And Steve sounded great. And he sang, like I said, low on purpose. He kind of shares some of the verses on the second verse. And then, of course, on the chorus, they kind of go back and forth, there. And but his voice in that key, kind of a smoky, deep kind of sound with her voice, in the higher key, it almost sounds like a chord on an organ or something. It just really touches you. And different people have blends, and harmonies, and that touch you in a special way. You hear like the Beach Boys, and they have special harmonies that make the song so much better. And I've heard Dolly harmonize. Now, I can think of, Kenny Rogers. That was special. And she said in an interview with Eddie Trunk, earlier tonight, if you saw it, that her husband wanted her to sing with Kenny Rogers, Open Arms, but they never got a chance. And he said, you got to sing that song. And she didn't think she could get Steve. All her friends are like, you're not going to get Steve. He's not going to do it. Well, he did it. And she said, she got his phone number, called him up. He said he used to watch her on the Porter Wagner show, had a crush on her, like everybody did. He's a little bit younger than her, a few years. But, he was excited to do it. Steve is a perfectionist, so he knew exactly what key would sound good with her voice, and I'm sure they worked all that out. So it's a special moment. And here's something else to think about, the special song. The fact that he says, this empty house seems so cold. And at the very end, they say it together as it does the outro and the piano. It's so special. We've grown up listening to that song. But they say, this empty house seems so cold. And it just makes you think about what Steve has gone through in his life. What he experienced losing Kelly, and maybe that was on his mind. I know he's happier these days. But this is a couple. So Open Arms as a duet. It's been done several times by artists, like Mariah Carey. And but a duet makes it magical because it's like a couple singing and they're looking at their house with the other one not there and they're saying this empty house seems so cold and they're telling one another their experiences and how it is when they're not there. Makes a great love song. Makes it special that Steve is still around doing it. His voice may not be 1981 Escape quality, but it's good enough for me. It's good enough for Dolly. She sounds great. I'm excited that he's doing this and still doing music. I know you are. So tell me what you think about this brand new song, Dolly Parton and Steve Perry on Open Arms. So special, special moment to share with everybody. Let me know what you think. Hey, thanks for watching. Keep it right here. I'll be bringing you some more news very soon. And always remember, don't stop believing. God bless you.